Yo, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Good people, peace and love. Peace and love, peace and love. Happy Friday. Happy Fortune and Freedom Friday. Back again with another episode of SRDaily. I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugary Marston. You were tuned into episode 518, week 104. It's coming to an end. Week 104, right? 104 weeks, 518 episodes, 104 weeks, man, coming to a close. Yo, listen, every day is a new milestone, right? Because this is uncharted territory for me. Never done anything like this, right? It's the most consistent I've been with anything. And as I mentioned multiple times, there are days when I don't want to show up and do the show. This morning, I woke up with a pounding headache, pounding, right? Like, and I was up early, right? Up early. I wanted to go for a walk before the sunrise. I got up, like I wanted to be outside while the sun rose, looking at the water. And I was up, and spirit was like, lay your ass down. Right? My body was like laid down. Head was throbbing. And I tried. I was like, all right, I can wait till like 7:15 and go outside. And 7:30, and I was like, nah, you gotta lay down because I know I gotta do the show. Right. And I didn't want to make things worse for myself. Right. So I said, let me just lay down. Closed my eyes, right? Kept the lights off, no screen, just laying there in bed, eyes closed, so I can get up and do the show. I feel a little better now, but I'm going back to lay down after. Was gonna do laundry today. We'll see what happens later. I got a meeting, a pretty big meeting at 12 o'clock, so I gotta be okay for that. So I'm gonna lay back down in the bed when this is over, until about 11. Right, I'll lay in the bed till about 11, and I wake up and I'll go over some notes. And it's a Zoom meeting, so I don't gotta leave home. And we'll see what happens after the meeting, right? Because I would love to get some light, right? It's pretty bright day outside, right? So yeah, we see what happens after the meeting. But until then, we are going to lay down after the show, wake up at 11, go through some notes, some talking points, all right? And then have the meeting, right? It's gonna be a great meeting, right? Team that was interested in working with me, organization, DYCD, right? Pretty prominent, powerful, popular organization, youth organization here in the city. Massive opportunities they have. And we're gonna see if there's some synergy, which there is. Like, I would love to do some things with them. So we're gonna see what happens. All right. But yeah, happy Friday. Sefu Sankofa. Peace and love, brother. Thanks for tuning in. Mona Love. Happy Fortune and Freedom Friday, baby girl. Thanks for tuning in. We're gonna get the show started, guys. We are going to start the show. We're gonna start with our first segment of the day. Today's first segment on this beautiful, brisk Friday, December 12th, 2025, episode 518. First segment is a phrase of the day. And today's phrase is an old school saying. Old folks used to say it. I heard it a lot growing up. I don't hear it as much now. But the old folks back in the days used to definitely say it. You must be out of your mind. You must be out of your goddamn mind. You must be out of your rabbit ass mind. You're not in your right mind. And again, super old school saying, classic. And when I was younger, I thought it was just me, right? When I was younger, when I was a little boy, young man, right, teenager, I thought it was just me. But now I realize that yes, people were, and some people are out of their mind, right? Mind control is very real. Absence of thought is very real. A lot of people are walking around controlled by media propaganda, societal standards, and just people have inherited the minds of their parents. All right, people have inherited the minds of their community, of their greater family. People are inheriting the minds of movies. All right, people are not in their mind, not in their right mind. People are out of their mind. It sounds, again, it used to sound mean when I was younger, but it's very true. Right, absence of thought is a very, very real thing, and it is crucial. All right, a lot of people are doing things. They're living lives. They're responding to situations, not with a full mind, not in a way that they want to respond. They feel controlled and compelled, right? Because of peer pressure, right? Again, because of so many different reasons. I go back to the other day when I was talking to the young people, and I was like, we are conditioned. Our responses are conditioned because, like, if somebody calls you ugly, the conditioned response is to call them ugly back, curse them out even worse, or get into a fight with them. And what if we can change that response? We don't have to respond like that. Someone says, "Oh, you're so ugly," but okay, thank you, I appreciate it. Thanks for noticing. All right, we can do that. But the sister was like, "No, that's where I draw the line," and like, because, and it's like, are you ugly? Who cares what another person says? And why do you care so much? Not who cares, but why do we care so much? Why do people care so much about how other people perceive them? About how other people perceive them, and even deeper than why do people care so much about about how others perceive them? Why do we respond negatively? Why do we match energy of a low vibrational person if they're saying something about us that we don't believe? That's the key. A lot of times our self-esteem is hurt, our self-worth is low. A lot of times what triggers us is that somewhere inside of us, what they said was already ruminating. What they said was already like, it was already there. We already had some of that. So if someone calls you ugly and you already, whether your mother, your father, your teachers, when you were younger, your siblings called you ugly, and that's a stain that's imprinted in your mind, even if, people have called you beautiful since then, even if you know that you're beautiful, and even if all of that stuff is accurate, if someone calls you ugly, it triggers that. And so you automatically go into that fight response. Automatically, amygdala is hijacking you. You're not even thinking clearly anymore. You're just like going, like, anger, violence, aggression is triggered. Very real, very real. But this is why, again, the practices matter. Meditation matters. Meditation matters. Taking a proper assessment of self matters. Breathing matters. Take a breath. Two things. Someone calls you ugly. Two things. You can breathe. Is there any truth to what they're saying? That's if you don't even want to, if you're not in a space where you could just totally ignore them, right? You don't want to totally ignore them for whatever reason. You can breathe and you can ask yourself, is there any truth to what they're saying? Am I ugly? Do I feel ugly? Right? If the answer is yes, right, you can, again, it's very hard to do, but it's not impossible. You make the connection to the original trigger, right? Oh, my mother called me ugly, who's supposed to love me and protect me. My father called me ugly, right? And we hear it all the time. Parents call their children ugly all the time. You're so fucking ugly. Like, yo, that's so bad. It's so bad when parents, the way some parents talk to their children, man, like they should not be able to be parents, right? And I've said that multiple times, and some people have given me flack for that, like, oh, how it? Nah, everybody doesn't deserve a child. Everybody does not deserve to be parents. Some people, some adults, are literally fucking their children's head up. The sister yesterday, who I know on the bus, I had to just like literally pray. Told her daughter, I slapped the shit out you, and I'm just like, I'm learning, right? Because part of us like, yo, don't talk to her like that. Part of me wants to engage her. I'm like, hey, sister, what's going on? Da, 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 right? Because I know her. She has a baby by, a distant cousin of mine, right? But I don't, I don't always know what to say in those situations. And so what I'm learning is to allow my peace to take over the space, right? Literally go into a prayer, go into a meditative state, and allow my positive vibration to spread. And fortunately, once I did that, the whole bus ride, at least until I got off, she didn't call her, she didn't say anything else to her like that, right? Say, yeah, I'm slapping something. Shut up before I slap the shit out you. Just like, yo, why would you talk to your child like that? But this is the answer, because her parents most likely talk to her like that. Like, we learn, right? Like, people don't just, men and women don't just grow up into these adults, don't just grow into these adults and just have these ways that they treat specifically their own children. They treat their children the way that their parents treated them, right? Or the way that their caretaker, the grandmother, the aunt, the uncle, the foster home, group home, right? The system, the way that they treated them a lot of times is the way that they treat their children. It takes a very conscious person. It takes somebody who is committed to breaking the cycle to have different responses. So children, of course, are going to test you. Like, young people are going to test you. They're going to say things that could be taken as disrespect. What I learned years ago, as early as, when I was a dad, early on was that, adults be like, oh, you being disrespectful. They tell children they're being disrespectful. And it's really not the child being disrespectful, because the child doesn't even really know what respect is, right? The child doesn't even understand fully the concept of what respect is. So what the child is doing is responding, right? The way that you've responded. They're learning, right? Either directly from you, from TV, videos, music, right? From their school friends, their friends' parents. That's where they're learning from. So if ever you can say as an adult that a child is being disrespectful, you also got to ask yourself, where are they learning this from? Where are they getting these behaviors from? Where are they learning to respond or to talk like this, right? Because how can I be full of disrespect if I don't fully understand what respect is? That's a a very real question. How can a child be full of disrespectful, if they don't fully understand, overstand, and understand what respect truly is, right? Not really possible. Not really possible. And so, yeah, a lot of people are not in their minds. A lot of people are out of their mind. All right. Meditation, breath work, all right, slowing down helps you get back into your mind. Because I've said it over and over again, as individuals, you have your own mind. And it is beneficial, not just to you, but to those around you, that you act in accord with your own mind. You don't just follow um, the ways of those around you, right? You ask questions if something doesn't seem right. If something doesn't make sense, you challenge it by asking questions, by being inquisitive. There's nothing wrong with that. I know some people who want children to not ask questions. Some people don't want adults to ask questions. Like, don't ask me shit. Just do what I said, that's it. But like, no, we're not doing that. Eat the glory. What's going on, brother? Thanks for tuning in. Peace and love. Appreciate you. Tefu said, prayer and meditation aligns me with myself daily. Beautiful. I think some parenting is the manifestation of unwanted pregnancy. Oh, absolutely. A lot of parenting, I think, is the manifestation of unwanted pregnancy. There are a lot of people who did not plan to get pregnant, right? They just were having sex. They were having a good time. I've said it years ago. I've been saying it for years. Like, too many adults, too many people, too many parents have children out of a good feeling, not for a good cause. They had no desire to really bring a child into this world and raise a child. But they were like, I'm pregnant. I'm not getting rid of my baby. I'm not aborting my baby. So like, fuck it. And you see it all the time, right? I never forget, one of my homegirls was like, when I had a child, she was like, when you have another baby. And I was like, well, I mean, when I find, this is when me and my children's mother had first split. And I'm like, well, one, when I get a stable partner. Two is when I have a solid plan and some more money and things like that, right? And she was like, oh, you plan your baby? Like, mine's both just happened. I was just fucking and got pregnant. And it's like, yo, yeah, I get it. But like, nah, that's and then it shows in how she has raised her daughter, yelling and screaming, right? Always frustrated, right? I can't wait till you get out of my house. The girl is fucking 8. What do you mean you can't wait till she get out your house? Like, it's tragic, man. Mona said, oftentimes, children challenging thought process and belief systems is deemed as disrespect. Adults and a child get triggered. Bad. Absolutely. Let's move right along, family, to our second segment of the day. Today's second segment is our Need to Know News of the day, of course. Today's news is we're going to Australia. I don't know if you guys seen it, but Australia is the first country that has banned social media for teens under 16. Australia is the first country that has banned social media for teens under 16. This is groundbreaking, if you ask me, for real. Right, let's pull up the article in Guardian and let's read a little bit about it, right? This is, I think, yesterday, right? Yesterday's article, 2 days ago. Millions of children and teens lose access to accounts as Australia's world-first social media ban begins. Accounts held by users under 16 must be removed on apps that include TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Snapchat, Reddit, Kick, Twitch, and Threads under ban. Australia has enacted a world-first ban on social media for users aged under 16, causing millions of children and teenagers to lose access to their accounts. Facebook, Instagram, Threads, X, YouTube, Snapchat, Reddit, Kick, Twitch, and TikTok are expected to have taken steps from Wednesday to remove accounts held by users under 16 years of age in Australia and prevent those teens from registering new accounts. Platforms that do not comply risk fines of up to $49.5 million. There have been some teething problems with the ban's implementation. Guardian Australia has received several reports of those under 16 passing a facial age assurance test, but the government has flagged it is not expecting the ban will be perfect from day one. All listed platforms, apart from X, had confirmed by Tuesday they will comply with the ban. The e-safety commissioner, Julie Inman Grant, said it had recently had a conversation with X about how it will comply, but the company had not communicated its policy to users. Blue Sky, an X alternative, announced on Tuesday it will also ban under 16s, despite e-safety assessing the platform as low risk due to its small user base of 50,000 in Australia. Children have spent the past few weeks undertaking age assurance checks, swapping phone numbers, and preparing for their accounts to be deactivated. The Australian chief executive and co-founder of the age assurance service, KID, Kieran Donovan, said his service had conducted hundreds of thousands of age checks in the past few weeks. The KID service was being used by Snapchat, among others. Parents of children affected by the ban shared a spectrum of views on the policy. One parent told The Guardian their 15-year-old daughter was very distressed because all her 14 and 15-year-old friends have been age verified as 18 by Snapchat. Since she had been identified as under 16, they feared, quote unquote, her friends will keep using Snapchat to talk and organize social events, and she will be left out. Another parent said the ban had forced him to teach his child how to break the law. I've shown her how VPNs work and other methods on bypassing age restrictions, he said. I've had to set her up with her own adult YouTube account and have assisted her in bypassing TikTok's age estimation and will keep doing so each time it asks. Others said the ban can't come quickly enough. One parent said their daughter was completely addicted to social media, and the ban provides us with a support framework to keep her off these platforms. The Australian Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, said in an opinion piece on Sunday, from the beginning, we've acknowledged this process won't be 100% perfect, but the message this law sends will be 100% clear. Australia sets the legal drinking age at 18 because our society recognizes the benefits to the individual and the community of such an approach. The fact that teenagers occasionally find a way to have a drink doesn't diminish the value of having a clear national standard. Polling has consistently shown that 2/3 of voters support raising the minimum age for social media to 16. The opposition, including leader Susan Lee, have recently voiced alarm about the ban, despite waiving the legislation through Parliament and the former liberal leader Peter Dutton championing it. The ban has garnered worldwide attention, with several nations indicating they will adopt a ban of their own, including Malaysia, Denmark, and Norway. The European Union passed a resolution to adopt similar restrictions, while a spokesperson for the British government told Reuters it was closely monitoring Australia's approach to age restrictions. Inman Grant told The Guardian that from Thursday, she will be sending notices to the platforms covered by the ban to find out how the implementation was progressing. Questions included how many accounts they've deactivated or removed, what challenges they're finding, how they're preventing recidivism and preventing circumvention, whether or not their abuse or reporting abuse and the appeals processes are working as planned, she said. Albanese said the information gathered in this process will be public. The regulator would need to assess whether platforms were taking reasonable steps. If they were not, it could take that platform to court to seek fines. Almost done. This is insane. All right. There will be an independent evaluation of the ban conducted by an academic advisory group examining the short-term, medium-term, and longer-term impacts of the ban. It will look at the benefits over time, but also the unintended consequences, Imam Grant said. Everything from are they sleeping, are they interacting, or are they actually getting out on the sports field? Are they reading books? Are they taking less medication like antidepressants? Are their NAPLAN scores improving over time? Imam Grant said. Potential unintended consequences to be investigated included whether children were moving on to darker areas of the internet, learning how to bypass the bans through VPNs, or moving on to other platforms, she said. Teens on Snapchat affected by the ban have been publicly sharing their mobile numbers and their profiles ahead of their accounts being shut down. A spokesperson for Snapchat said the platform understood under 16s were disappointed by the ban, but would strongly encourage any teens using Snapchat not to publicly share their personal contact information. Word. Excuse me. Imam Grant said she has sent notices to 15 companies not initially included in the ban, asking them to self-assess whether they should be. Yelp and Lemon 8, which shot up the app store rankings as teens look for alternatives, were among those contacted. Yo, oh snap. I think that's a great step. I personally, clearly I don't know what's going on in Australia, but I do know that young people in America, I mean, people in general, right? Adults, but specifically young people are super addicted to social media. And I think it's having a detrimental effect. I don't think it's having a positive effect. Yes, they are connecting with others. I mean, I think I spoke a year or so ago. We shared how, and I think in China or in some place in Asia, they had the no social media. Like I think it was a club. It was a no social media club. Like teens were moving away. They were reading more books, right? They were getting outside more. They were doing more things with their friends as opposed to just sitting around on social media. I know it's something I'm working to be better at, right? Less social media use. Although I am a media personality, and so like it's part of my career, part of like what I do is this talk show, social media, right? To be on social media, you know, gathering news and perspectives and thoughts and all of those things. But I can definitely use it a lot less, and I'm committed to that as we move towards the end of the year, going into next year. I'm turning 42. More reading, more writing, more exercise, right? More meditation, more mindfulness, more walks, right? Gonna, you know, at some point implement like a strict strategy, right? When I'm on social media, when I'm not, right? I don't need to check it all day, like I don't need to be doing that. And so that is what I'm calling in is maybe, you know, after the show, maybe, you know, midday for a little bit, and then maybe in the evening, post something, get out, check messages. I don't need to be looking at everybody's stuff. And I don't really, like, I don't do a lot of doom scrolling. There are pages that I check for news or for laughter or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I am committed, and I think this social media ban for teens under 16 in Australia is a good thing, right? Kim Calicio, what's going on, my sister? Peace and love. Sefu said, protect the minds of the future. Absolutely. Let's move right along, family, to our third segment of the day. Today's third segment is a tip of the day. Today's tip is very simple. Listen to your body. Listen to your body. Take heed. As mentioned earlier, I got up early this morning. I was up at like 4 something. Got into meditation at 5, right? And yeah, got into prayer. And I wanted to go for a walk before sunrise. I wanted to be outside at the water as the sun came up, and that did not happen because my head was pounding, and I stayed in bed with my eyes closed for the last 2.5 hours. I was literally in bed to 8:30. At 8:30, I got up, got some clothes. All right. I had did my notes, most of my notes. Well, I did some notes, you know, last night. I did, yeah. When I got up, I did the rest of my notes, and yeah, I was in bed. My head was pounding. It still hurts. Still got a headache. But we are going to lay down again after the show. All right. At 11, I'll get up. I'll get ready for this meeting I have at 12, and we'll see what happens after that. All right. Go for a light walk. Still want to walk to the water. I got some juice to make some celery pineapple juice. All right, celery pineapple ginger. Nourish myself. Take care of myself. Right. Maybe eat later on. Eat some salad later. All right. Take care of myself, man. Listen to your body. Your body is always speaking to you. Right. Listen to your body. Take heed. I know. Again, we've gotten talking about addiction, addicted to hustle culture. Always got to be doing something. Always got to be producing. And I get it. It's things that need to be done. But like, you ain't gonna die. Life is not gonna end, no matter how challenging it is, no matter how frustrating it can be, no matter how overwhelming it feels. You are not going to die. Because when you do die, it's over. It doesn't even matter. All right. So like, listen to your body. Your body says rest, rest. All right. Yeah, I know this headache in my body, tired. I've been eating not terribly, but terribly. All right. The last few few weeks, few days. All right. But we are getting better, man. We are getting better. This headache is gonna go away. I'm claiming it. Right by the time I wake up for my meeting, the headache will be gone, and it's gonna be an incredible meeting, a powerful meeting. And yeah, listen to your body. That's the tip of the day. And let's move right along to our fourth and final segment of the day. Today's fourth segment, I want to talk about something, family. I want to get into this concept. So today's build of the day. Everyone who's good for your happiness isn't good for your health. Every person who is good for your happiness is not good for your health. Or are they? I don't freaking know. So I noticed something recently. Someone who I know and love seems to be dating again after years of being single. Years of being single, seem to be dating again. They're hanging out, right, with the person they're spending time with, makes them laugh. They seem to be, in good spirits. But the person I know and love has physical and emotional health challenges. They have physical and emotional health challenges. The person they're with either doesn't seem to be aware of those physical and emotional health challenges or doesn't care. They're drinking beer and wine together, which is not beneficial to this person who I know and love. All right. They're eating terribly together, which is not beneficial to this person who I know and love. Right. And so the question came to my mind: are people who make you laugh and feel good actually good for you? If just because they make you laugh, feel good, maybe you guys are having sex, right? Intercourse that make you come, all of that stuff, right? Feels good, but is it good for you? Are they good for you? Can it be torn? Can it be like yes, like and no? I think it could be torn. I think it could be. I think it's like a very more music was going on. I think it's a very fine line. It's tough because people want and deserve to experience love. People deserve to experience love. People want to experience love. People want to be happy and they deserve to be happy. I get that. However, I still stand on the notion that self-love is the most important form of love. But who am I? Right? Self-love is the most important form of love, but who am I? Right? What if like again because like life happens fast and like if yeah I don't know I'm torn, right? Because again I'm watching this, like I've seen it, right? It's not like I'm not every day, right? But it's somebody who I was around and I noticed like yeah they're laughing with their person and like they seem to be like hanging out right regularly, and they're laughing and they're smiling and like it seems really cool. I'm like wow that's dope. And then I'm watching them drink and I'm watching them eat terribly. And I'm like, this person got health challenges. This person does not need to be eating this bullshit food. This person does not need to be eating all of this junk food. This person does not need to be drinking wine, like this much wine and beer. Like they got real health issues, real emotional health issues, physical and emotional, right? Stomach stuff, heart stuff, like all types of body things, mental, emotional things. Um, so the question came to me. So what do you guys think? Right? Talk to me, please. Drop a comment on Facebook, YouTube. Drop a comment here on Instagram. Talk to me. Let me know. Is someone making you laugh, making you feel good physically, right? Good for you, even if they're contributing to your addiction, even if they're contributing to your unhealthy addiction, right? Are they good for you? It's a very real question. I think a lot of us can ask ourselves regarding relationships, right? That we're in, right? And to be honest, to take an honest assessment and what adjustments, right, can we make to be more supportive of people in their addiction, right? Understanding when somebody got some health challenges, understanding when some people got some addictions and they want to break, right? You don't blame the crackhead, the person who smokes crack, pardon me, for continuing to smoke crack when they say they want to quit or they know they need to quit, but the people around them are constantly bringing them crack. They're addicted. They're gonna smoke it more often than not. All right, like don't bring crack around them, right? And then that leads right. It leads me to something. Conversation came up years ago with my siblings and my cousin. My cousin was drinking. She drinks a lot. She drinks and gets into fights. She drinks and gets into issues, challenges with family. Um, yeah, she's drinking and shit is going on. Now the rest of us, this is when I was still drinking. We're drinking and we're laughing and we're going to sleep and like we're doing all the other things. But like I brought it up. I said, yo, if we love her, then when she's around, we need to not be drinking. And their response was, well, she got to have control and she knows she needs to. And it's like, nah, like if you love somebody, you support them. And supporting somebody is also sometimes making that sacrifice with them. Like, can we have events, invite our cousin and not have alcohol? And like that was a very heated discussion. My family did not like the idea. Um, but like I think that's a solution. If you know someone is addicted to alcohol, you know they're having bad experiences with alcohol, and you have an event, family event, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, and they're coming, can you bypass alcohol for that evening? Can you? Should you? I think you should. Can you? I think you should. Can you? It's a different story. Will you? It's a different story. But I think that's what support looks like. That's what family and community looks like to really help someone is to take the sacrifice with them, even though you may not be having the same challenges, but you know they're having challenges with alcohol, and maybe you could not drink right for those few hours that you guys are together. So yeah, alcohol is crazy. Jaleel Muntaqim, National Mobilization Against Genocide, July 4th, 2026. Powerful, powerful, powerful. Spiritofmandela.org. Powerful. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for that. But listen, guys, that's our show for today. I appreciate you guys. I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugar Ray Marston. This is the end of week 104, 518th episode. SR Daily with Personality Meets Enlightenment. We're here Monday through Fridays, 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Please do join us next week, Monday, as we go into week 105, episode 519 to episode 523. Please do join us. 523, 519, 523. Please do join us 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. Remember, it ain't getting knocked down. That's the problem. It's staying down. So get up. The power is in you. As always, be kind to yourself. Be kind to each other. Peace and love.